Greetings people of the internet, my name is Shiron and I challenged myself to learn how to draw over the course of 30 days by following this video by Marc Brunet. So let's take a look at what I did. Right at the beginning on day 1, I had to draw a skull as a reference point to see whether I would improve over the 30 days. Not gonna lie, this was already pretty difficult and the result is honestly quite painful to look at. But since it was only day 1, I didn't think too much about it. After that, the first actual exercise was to draw a square with a circle inside it. Since I felt that doing only one repetition wouldn't lead to much improvement, I repeated almost every exercise multiple times. This is what it looked like on the first day. To finish the day off, I wanted another personal reference point, so I drew one of my favorite characters, the owner from Genshin Impact.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to see, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10.
On day 2, the task was to draw simple shapes and give them thickness. Looking back at the finished piece, I honestly didn't even know what I was doing at the time. Day 3 felt a lot easier. This time I had to draw 3 cylinders behind one another and split them in half. I have to say, this already looks much better than the previous day. Day 4 was quite similar, but with changed proportions and some added shading, which ended up looking a bit awkward. I felt motivated to do something extra and looked up how to draw a rotating cube. I tried to find the finishing points, failed completely, and decided to postpone that exercise for later. Day 5 wasn't anything major, just drawing some flat boxes and some foreshortened ones. On day 6, things felt less like a struggle again. The task was to draw 9 boxes from different perspectives. I'd say I managed it fairly well. Not perfect, but good enough. 1 week done. Today I just worked on single stroke circles. They felt easy and fast, so I filled almost the whole canvas with them. The next day I didn't have any time to draw, so I had to catch up on that day's task on day 9. It involved drawing several ribbons. Overall, it was okay, although some of them looked pretty off. Day 9 of drawing for 30 days, the task was to draw 2 eyeballs looking in the same direction. Making them look as equal as possible took much more effort than I expected. Next up was drawing a sphere, a cylinder and a box, as well as drawing the house. I would say this was a manageable task, not too difficult. 1/3 of the challenge completed. On day 11 I had to draw a shaded sphere. I still struggled quite a bit with shading and the result definitely reflects that. Day 12 was more fun again. The task was to draw a stack of 3 boxes and 3 cylinders of varying sizes. I struggled a little with keeping the perspective consistent, but overall it was fairly easy. Just like the day before, Day 13 felt quite easy since it was mostly repeating something I already kind of knew with only minor changes. This time I drew cylinders with different levels of bend. Day 14 required a bit more creativity. The task was to cut off the corners of a box and I experimented with several different variations. Day 15 was quite unique, drawing a burger made of 2 half spheres and a cylinder. I wouldn't say it turned out bad, but it definitely looks a bit awkward. Halfway through the challenge, Day 16 involved drawing a beveled box with a square hole in it. Not much to say here, I went through it pretty smoothly. On Day 17, I forgot to hit record. The task was to draw cups shaped from a square, a cylinder and a sphere. Unfortunately, the perspective is off, which makes the entire drawing look wrong. Day 18 went better again. I had to draw a simple totem. My main issue was that I drew everything too large, so I couldn't fit many of them on the canvas. Perspective-wise, though, it worked better this time. Day 19 brought a major challenge, rotating a cube and a cylinder in space. I already struggled with this at the beginning of the challenge, and here we are again. It did not go well, just look at it, I won't say more. Day 20 was more enjoyable. The task was to draw a basic house or garage, which allowed for some creativity again. Figuring out how to place the roof correctly took some effort, but I managed it somehow. As an extra, I also tried drawing a few heads. "10 days left, things were getting exciting. On Day 21, I had to draw a cup of coffee with a marshmallow. It went pretty well and the perspective isn't as off as in some earlier drawings. I also added a bag of marshmallows. Day 22 was another struggle. The task was to draw cubes in 1-point perspective and cut them in half. Looking back, I feel pretty stupid for not understanding 1-point perspective properly. I even drew 1 cube in 2-point perspective without realizing it. Day 23 confused me just as much. I had to draw a room in 1-point perspective and add furniture. I really don't know how I messed this up so badly. For the last room, I got bored and didn't even finish it. On Day 24, things finally started to click. Drawing 3 identical buildings in 1-point perspective went quite smoothly. Since I felt like I finally understood it, I didn't even repeat the exercise. Instead, I did some head studies. I used 2 artworks by this ex-user, tried to understand the head shapes and redraw them. The result isn't great, and I don't think I fully understood what I was doing. Day 25 made me feel more comfortable with 1-point perspective. Drawing a covered bridge over a gap wasn't too difficult. Not much else to say about this one. On Day 26, I moved on to 2-point perspective by drawing treasure chests. This definitely went better than my first attempts at 1-point perspective. The log is pretty flat and I could have made it pop out more, but overall I'm fairly satisfied. Day 27 was enjoyable again. The task was to draw poles with signs on them in 2-point perspective. I varied the signs a bit so they wouldn't all look the same. Also, I drew some heads on this day. On Day 28, I had to draw glasses. The proportions of the lenses and the frame are noticeably off, but in the end, I didn't repeat it. Day 29's task was a bit special, drawing a toilet. I actually had to look up reference images just to understand how to approach it. And finally, Day 30. The last challenge was to redraw the same skull from Day 1 to compare the progress.
My heart
I have to say, the difference is insane. I also reviewed Yona from Genshin Impact. This time I left the full recording in, but you can skip to this timestamp to see the final result.
Empty hearts and neon lights, they're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly, and I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. La 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 la. Get me out of broken hearts and starting fights, turning truth to lies. Gotta get up, stop wasting time. Yeah, I wanna run off and fly, and I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. Oh no.
The improvement here is also very noticeable. I still need to work on shading and color choice, and the eyes could be better, but overall I'm really happy with how it turned out. That's it, the 30-day challenge is over. There were ups and downs along the way, but I genuinely had a lot of fun, and I'll definitely keep trying. Feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think about the final result. Take it easy, and until next time.